This is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 221. The title of today's lesson is The Difference Between By Far, So Far, Too Far, and Far From. Yeah, sometimes students get a little confused with these, and they may ask, well, what's the difference between this and that? Some of these are a little close, so hopefully in this lesson we're going to clarify it more. All right, so let's look at the first one. Let's look at by far. By far could have a couple of meanings here. By a large degree or by a considerable amount. Or the second meaning, used to emphasize the difference between two things that are being compared. Yeah, so especially when you're comparing one to another, we might say one is something by far. All right, so let's look at the example here. Steve is the most qualified by far, meaning that, nobody else is even close to him, even though maybe somebody else could be kind of qualified, but by far, Steve is the most qualified, so nobody is even a close second. I think I remember also, I did an article where they were talking about the Academy Awards, and I think Meryl Streep had the most nominations. It was in the area of like 20 or 21 or something like that over her career. And the next closest one was actually like Jack Nicholson had about 12. So you could say she had the most nominations by far. Now, of course, she didn't win all those times, but of course she had the most nominations. So the number two, like 21 or 20 and then 12, that's not really close. So you could say that she had the most nominations by far. By a large degree or by a considerable amount. So that's the way we mean by far. Okay, let's go on to the next one. The next one is so far. So far also has two meanings. It could mean up to this time or up to this point. Or so far can also mean that something's influence or effect is limited. All right, so we got two examples that cover both meanings. Let's look at the first one here. Everything is going well so far. Right? This is the first one. This is the simple one. Up to this time, up to this point, no major problems. Everything is going well so far. All right, let's look at the second one here. The money in our savings account can only go so far. We need more. All right, this is the one we're saying that something's influence or effect is limited. Yeah, we can use up all the money in our savings account, but we'd still need more. This is limited. This is not enough. So that way we can use it. So here, of course, when we use so far here means that it's limited in effect. It's limited in influence. Okay, let's look at the next one. Too far. Too far means beyond an acceptable limit. We often use this term with verbs like go, like you could go too far, you could take something too far, you could carry something too far. All of them mean that you're probably going beyond a limit or a degree that is acceptable to the majority of people. So let's look again, first one here. You are really going too far. Be careful what you say. You may offend too many people. Maybe somebody is examining what they're saying and they're saying, I think some people are going to be angry at you for saying that you're going too far. Bring it down a little bit. You're going beyond the acceptable limit. This is what we mean by going too far. Okay, and let's look at the last one today. Far from. Far from means not even close to being a particular thing. So let's look at the first example. He is far from the best. All right, so it means he's not even close to being the best. One's a little bit like comparing like before, but it still means we're really trying to say that somebody is not even close to this thing. And number two, this one is not necessarily comparing. His acting skill is passable. Okay, not too bad. But it is far from Academy Award material, meaning he'll never win an Academy Award and probably never even be nominated for an Academy Award. And sometimes we say this with maybe somebody, they kind of went into acting from another profession. There's been a number of wrestlers that have tried that. Where maybe the type of movie they're in, you think, it's okay for that movie, but nobody would, they'll never be nominated for Academy Award. Or perhaps a singer or a model. Some of them are actually not too bad. Some can really act. Some of them are like, well, in this movie, your acting is passable, but, it is far from Academy Award material. You'll never be nominated for Academy Award, and forget about winning the Academy Award. So you're far from that. Okay, good. I hope it's clear. I hope you got it. I hope it was very informative. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.